action. This is going to be an exciting qualifying. Unfortunately, the preview is a little inaccurate as the clouds are much more gloomy in comparison. You know, immediately to turn one, Peter is going to find himself in the lead. Yellow Snowman, though, got a brilliant start, but it looks like the Alfa Romeo's got a little bit held up there. Chili Willie is now going to try and pass his teammate going into turn 3, I think. Yeah, turn 3. Already off to a very hectic start. Yellow Snowman, though, he's on the soft tires. Just a bit of a gamble, but he's trying to maximize it as much as he can. Unfortunately, though, he hasn't gained any spots. For a moment, it seemed like he did, but now he's back down in 4th. Meanwhile, looks like Molly Dragon has got past Ben's own slice. It's up into 13th place. Braver getting past Kicks My Axe. Using the soft tires to his advantage. Moo Iron's getting ahead of Bugata, and JJ is already up to P10. Absolutely incredible. And now he's about to be P9 as he's going to overtake Sako going into the end of the back straight. Is he going to try and send it on Normbach? I don't think he will. He definitely considered it there for a moment.
Oh, Lord. Also, Chili's winning by 1.5 seconds, and it's only lap 1.
Yes, he is on the medium tires, his teammate of the hards, but I would say this places the team's hands overall, because, I mean, one of these strategies is correct. We'll see which one turns out to be right. Drunken Shamrock is going to try to make a move on the outside. Peter going deep on the inside to try and cover it. Drunken Shamrock, though, is going to switch back, and he's going to immediately make his way into 2nd place. A brilliant move. It looks like that hard tire isn't panning out too well for Peter at the moment. It's now under pressure from Yellow Snowman. You can see he's watching, waiting for an opportunity, and he's definitely going to send it to the next corner. Going on the inside, can the Ferrari get ahead? Braking even later than him. Oh, Peter tried to keep around the outside, and I think it may have just paid off. Looks like he got a bit of better traction on the exit, but all of this is allowing Whipples to now join in on the action, making his way in between the 2 Ferrari-powered cars. Can he get ahead of both, potentially? Is he going to send it? No, he's going to back out. Wise move.
There's a bit of lockup from Snowman, and it's going to leave Whiffles with a great opportunity.
And he's going around the outside now. Can he complete the move? It's going to be incredibly close between the two, but I think Whipples might have it. Peter is going to have an advantage. They almost come together. What incredible racing we're witnessing right now. Whipples, though, unfortunately has to relinquish. Never mind, Peter just completely spun out. Oh! And that is Peter out of the race. Who collided with him?
I think it was Moldy Dragon. I think that's going to be a safety car. It's a VSC.
That's so unfortunate for Moldy Dragon. He had a pretty solid start, but I think he may have suffered some damage. We may not see it, but he could very well have front wing damage. Unfortunately, Epic Hood's gonna have a problem to deal with, and his name is Anthony Jenkins, already on the heels. J-Jo just behind, trying to overtake his teammate. J-Jo is having a brilliant run right now. Absolutely incredible.
Keep going, J-Jo. You're...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 3 here of Moose Racing League Season 7. Today, we embark on an adrenaline-fueled journey around the historic Hungaroring circuit in Hungary. As the engines rev up and down and the lights go green, watch as the finest racers battle out here in Moose Racing League in our Tier 1, maneuvering their virtual F122 cars through tight corners and blistering straights. With precision driving, strategic pit stops, and fierce overtakes, these drivers will leave no room for error, I can guarantee you that. Get ready to witness some intensity, some speed, and some sheer excitement of some F1 League racing at its finest. Buckle up and prepare for an unforgettable race. As you guys probably know, my name's Punju, and I'm so excited to be joining you guys here today. It's going to be a darn fun race, if you ask me. I think we're going to have a blast. We've got a crazy lineup, obviously, tonight. The grid has never been more stacked than it ever is in this season for Tier 1. It's just been getting crazier and crazier, dude. Like, it blows my mind how good these drivers have gotten at this point. They're just... This Tier 1 group is unreal how fast they all are. I mean, last week was obviously absolutely insane, as we saw in Coda. There was some crazy stuff that went down, like that last lap pass for Giants fan to grab the podium off of Jack Ledford. That was crazy. We saw just insane action. Somehow, actually, right now, Bob's is still literally leading the championship. Everything that happens in Tier 1 right now is just kind of wonky to me. It's it's a wild tier. So I know it's going to be pretty wild. One thing I am going to do, obviously, is help out with the invites and getting everybody set up and ready to go. But it looks like some people are having some little bits of problems. So let me see if I can get some friends up and in here. Get them all set up. How's everybody here doing tonight in chat? Hope you guys are all doing great. It's going to be a beautiful night tonight. Looks like actually Semtex can't join because he's not even showing us online. That's weird. Whack. Mr. Minico. Brrr, says Mr. Minico. Minico, obviously, is one that I, give a lot of hype for every single week. This week, he's a little bit mad at me because I've given him so many commentator curses. But hopefully that is not going to happen tonight. Remember, guys, we are at Hungary, so let's go ahead and take a look at the track. We've got an absolutely insane track ahead of you guys. 4.3 kilometers, 2.7 miles with 14 turns of insanity. 2 DRS zones. It's not quite a double DRS zone where it's just one detection zone, but they're back-to-back DRS zones. I think there's a potential to add a third DRS zone sometime, right at the end of Sector 1, personally. But I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen ever. It is a pretty crazy course, though. Very high downforce, very high degradation, obviously. Let's take a look at our race notes for the night tonight. The first time that we raced here, this is the first time we've raced here since July 31st, 2022, which is crazy. It's been almost a year since Moose Racing League has taken a shot at the Hungarian. The last constructor to win here in Tier 1 was McLaren, driven by Mr. Drix RL. Fun fact, that's who won that July 31st race. And obviously, let's talk a little bit about last week, because like I said, Coda was a wild race. We had some insane podium finishers, and it was all wild up and down the grid. All the drivers, except for Bob's, moved either up or down the standings last week after a Coda, which is crazy. Now this week, I want to give some special eyes out on 3 people. The reason why I picked these 3 people is because, ironically enough, A, they were the podium sitters for Coda, but B, I see craziness. I see a potentiality for a shakeup out of these 3 drivers the most out of anybody else. It's Sketchy Bull, Rich Sebi, and Giants Fan. Now, Sketchy Bull, I think, is a shakeup because obviously look at how he did last week. He did a phenomenal job. Rich Sebi as well was able to just stay so consistent for that entire race while it was getting wild. And then Giants Fan, obviously it's Giants Fan. How can we ever count out Giants Fan? So that's why I picked these guys. I think it's going to be pretty crazy. I'm wondering if those that are in Tier 1 can hear me, but if they are, they can go ahead and click go. Give me 1 second, everybody. The beautiful thing about being a commentator and lobby host is I have to do many things. But we are off and ready to go racing tonight. It's going to be wild. Now, when I mention these drivers, obviously Giants Fan has yet to have like a super standout race, right? Didn't win his first race. I believe he actually ended up not even getting in the points in Singapore. And then in Coda, had himself a podium for sure, but I think it was a podium that he had to fight a little bit harder than he maybe thought he was going to have to fight for. So we'll see what happens. Bob says he's going to win tonight, and there's a shot because Bob's is literally still in the lead of the championship, which is crazy to me, that he's literally still in the lead of the championship. And it's something pretty wild for sure. Oh, man. Impressive that Bob's has found a way to stay in the lead for so long. Now, like I mentioned, guys, we are here at Hungary. Let's go ahead and get into the game scene right now. We are here at Hungary on round 3. Next week will be Miami. And then we're on to Portugal, Imola, Spain, Japan, Canada, and finishing off at Abu Dhabi on June 25th. Next week is when we start our mirroring real-life calendar schedule. Miami is what's happening in real life, and so we will be mirroring that here at Moose Racing League. We'll also do that in Imola, as well as Spain, as well as Canada. So 4 of our races will mirror the real-life, calendar, which I think is pretty fun. Now, obviously, let's take a look at our standings for Tier 1. We got Williams still leading the championship in Tier 1. However, it's a tie between themselves and Ferrari. Ironically enough, McLaren and Mercedes are also dead tied for 3rd and 4th. So it's a 1st place tie and a 3rd place tie right now. which is wild. Right now, Bob's obviously leading the championship. Notice how Sketchy Bowl went up 13 positions in the standings. That's crazy, dude. That's absolutely wild to me. So, you know, that's why I put him up as like one of the ones to watch for the day. I also put Sebi up because he went 7 positions up, which is pretty nuts. And Giants fan went up 4 positions. So those were all of our 3 biggest gainers in the positions, minus Jack, of course, who Jack is always a dark horse. You know, you never know if he's going to have a howler of a race or an absolute beast mode race. So he's been starting from the back consistently because he has had some quality mans to serve. I think this is his second to last one, I want to say. So, yeah. However, we are going to be going out and getting on this track in just a second. Remember also last week's results if you guys want to take a little refresher. Here's why everybody is on the spots that they're at. Like I mentioned, guys, you know how I said that that Giants fan did not get a podium or even points his first race? He did not. He got fastest lap, but he still finished in 11th place in Singapore. However, last race he did end up getting a 3rd place. Ironically enough, it's a completely mirrored result from the guy right underneath him in the championship standings, technically even, which would be Braden Axe, who got 3rd in the first race and then 11th in the second race. Some fun facts right there. Yellow Snowman, so far, Mr. Consistent. 5th place finishes 2 times in a row. So kind of wild for that. He's here in the chat. Hello, Mr. Yellow Snowman. I see you watching. You are a spectator for this race. It's so funny. And Cases asks a very important question. Who is this new McLaren guy that's in there? Well, speaking of McLaren, let's take a look at where they're at in the standings. Currently, 2nd to the bottom. Pretty far down the grid. The fall from grace McLaren has had this season. However, after today's results so far in tiers 5, 4, and 3, at least for sure 4 and 3, with back-to-back wins in tier 4 and tier 3, and then a good result in tier 2 as well, McLaren likely to go up a few positions. However, obviously the Ferrari boys still currently dominating the overall Constructors' Championship. But after this week, we shall see if that holds. That might have some changes. I'm expecting a little bit of changing around in these orders. I do want to mention that, guys. Well, now that we are done chatting about all the fun stuff that has to be chatted about before we get into the racing, let's go ahead and take a look at the new McLaren driver. So if you guys don't remember, last week, we had a few exits from the league, if you would, right? And with those exits come vacancies, and with vacancies come wonderful people to fill them in. And Aston Martin has gotten a new full-time driver of Santiago Robles, otherwise known as CRT Sanchez. You may also hear me call him Cheese. I do so affectionately call him. Assuming his name is Sanchez. Cheese. He does like that nickname, by the way. However, another full-time new driver is this guy, Alan Toast, who is about to come across the line for his first hot lap. Right now, Giants fan puts down the very first banker of the day, 15.5. Which is unreal. And there goes Alan Toast putting down a 16.3. Still saw a lap time right there for his banker. He's off and getting some pace out on the track right now. Oizich puts down a 16.2. Santiago Robles, first race as a full-time driver here in Moose Racing League, puts down a 15.728. Good job for him. Thank you so much, everybody who's saying the nice things about my race, by the way. Appreciate you guys. So far, obviously, I'm not surprised with Giants fan being up at the top. Santiago Robles, though, sitting in 3rd is pretty impressive. A little fun fact, guys, on paper, now he's going to get mad at me for hyping him up like this, but on paper, Santiago Robles, otherwise known as Sanchez, like I've said, is on paper the fastest driver we've ever had in Moose Racing League. Mr. Robles actually has some experience in the official F1 Esports Challenger Series for Xbox. Which is pretty insane. So he's one to definitely watch out for here in Tier 1. He is unreal. However, Snowman knows him for sure. He has beaten him in some 1v1s, actually. Sanchez is one who you may know. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Mr. Speedy Goose, who's on outlap. And Jack Lefford also on outlap. Jack Lefford actually just serving his quality man right now. So, on Speedy Goose. Speedy Goose, if you guys recall, has had a bit of a rough coda. It dropped him down the order quite a bit. I believe he lost like 5 positions. Take a look at that from Speedy Goose right there. You can see, yeah, he lost 5 positions, went from 10th to 15th in the standings after this last race. So definitely tough for him last race. We shall see if he can improve and get himself a little bit higher up the grid. Speedy Goose did not necessarily do the best race last week. Yes, Kermit, that is correct. That is correct. Snowman is very upset about the fact that we now have a super speedster from the likes of Santiago Robles popping in the Moose Racing League full-time roster. I'm excited about it, personally. I like more speed, more better, more fun. We shall find out. However, as Ducati is excited, I'm sure everybody else is very excited about this. We've got Alan Toast back. He's in the McLaren. Looks like he's on and... Bit of an interesting error right there. He was on an out lap, but he was actually... he was on a hot lap, but he's going to go in. Right now, sitting on a 16.389. Our times are already ridiculously close if you guys look at this, guys. From pole position to 14th is literally 1.2 seconds. Unreal, dude. Wow. We got Minico and T-Ball within 2 1,000ths of a second of each other. And we're not even anywhere near the business end of qualifying. So, if that's anything to tell you about how this qualifying session is going to go, you know, I don't think anything else could be more telling. Here goes Speedy Goose, about to cross the line at a 16.367, solid lap, but puts him in 10th. That is just not quite good enough here in Tier 1. We're looking for those lower 16s, high 15s to get yourself comfortably in top 10. Jack, I'm not exactly sure where he finished. I want to say he was reserving for challengers, so I don't think he finished too high up in the standings personally, but he was selected to reserve. He was pretty freaking good. I mean, I've watched him race many times. I've raced against him many times. Yeah, he's crazy. Joseph J. Is that J. Joe? Betcha. Hello, Ducati. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know it's crazy, right? Snowman, I feel the exact same way. Well, guys, we're waiting for some more people to get up on some hot laps. One who looks like he's on a hot lap is this guy, Mr. Rich Sebi. Yep, he is on one. He's up on his time by 0.08 of a second already. His best time right now is sitting at a 16.114. Now, I think he can improve that, get himself down to the 15s. He's looking pretty speedy through this section. That Ferrari does stay out of his way. It looks like it's probably sketchable. Yeah, it was. Sebi flying through Sector 2 right now. Looks really confident through these corners. It's really hard to keep yourself so steady through these corners right here, but he does a great job. Up almost 2/10 now. 1.5 tenths. This would put him in the 15s, but right now it still wouldn't even put him beating Sketchable. As of right now, Sketchable would still be beating Sebi with this time. Now, Sebi might have an insanely blistering Sector 3 right here. How does he handle this final corner? A little bit wide on entry for a tighter apex and a faster speed, and he spins on his way out of the final corner. Sebi was definitely up on his time too, and he knows it. He's going to be upset about that. That is mighty disappointing. Mighty, mighty, mighty disappointing. Also, for those of you guys that are all asking me a million questions, I'm happy to answer as many as I can, obviously. Yes, Rage Quit I did. Yeah, that is correct. And Jack, yes, he is on PC now. Yep, that's correct. Now, right here, we're on Mr. King Kirk. Halfway through Sector 2. He's shifting. King Kirk is on an in lap is what it looks like right here. Not a hot lap. Sebi spun. Bad spot. That's the Rebel through. No worries. Zeech has retired. Zeech is spun. Oh, no. Right there on the right side, Zeech spun and nosed right into the wall. Unfortunate for him, man. That's tough. That's tough. You hate seeing that. Oof. Santiago Robles up. He's already up 2 tenths, and he's just through Sector 1, by the way, guys. So let's watch this lap from the Aston Martin full-time driver of CRT Sanchez, Santiago Robles. Let's see how he handles the rest of this challenging track of the Hungarian ring. Amazing how he short shifts up to 5th right there, then drops it right back down to 4th. Gets a little bit extra rotation on that downshift. And he flies through turn 11 right there. Up 5 tenths right now, everybody. Santiago Robles, if he finishes this lap at the equal pace that he's been setting so far, he's going to put one down. Oh, he has a little bit of a moment. Oh, Robles was absolutely slamming down a time, but he's going to still be a good one. It's a 15.5, puts him provisionally on pole, but he had at least 2 to 3 tenths in that lap more that he can go. So I highly expect to see a potential of a 14.9 from Santiago Robles, maybe even a 15.0 on his final lap. I think it's possible. Minico, though, in the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin's setting it down 1-2 right now at a 15.488. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's a good lap. Speedy Goose on a hot one right now is what it looks like. Yep. He's burning. Will Speedy Goose be able to improve? Right now sitting at a 16.367, which is only good enough for 13th, as every single driver so far on the grid has put down at least one valid lap. Minus, obviously, Jack Ledford, who is serving a qualifying ban. As of right now, Oezich, the best he will go is a 16.2 after crashing out of here in qualifying. And right now, Speedy Goose is up almost 2 tenths, which could put him potentially only 2 positions higher. That's crazy. Big gaps here at the back of the field comparatively to the top. What will Speedy Goose handle here? The final bits of qualifying. He does a 15.9. That's a very good lap from Speedy Goose. He's got a lot to be happy about with that one. But it's not going to be good enough for anything better than the top 10 as of right now. Also, excuse me, Snowman. I would say it's pronounced Robles, but it's also Robles. Those are both acceptable pronunciations. Sure. Santiago Robles. Santiago Robles. I'd say they're equally acceptable. What do you think, Chad? Are we gonna keep criticizing me, or are we gonna let me be? Huh? What's the move right now? Probably criticize me. Probably. That's it's usually the the move from everybody. Marley and pull time for P16. Oh yes, Andy, I remember that one. Pogs, you're right. There are lots of guys to root for. This is insane. Drew, Jack is running with, I want to say 3, so there's more to go still. You guys are master critiques. Thanks for always holding me accountable to the best version of myself. Appreciate you guys. Tom, reserving up. Sitting in 18th place right now in qualifying. He is up only 0.03 of a second. What can he do? Yes, Ducati knows Santiago very well. Ducati and Santiago, actually, fun fact, everybody, they have both run an iRacing endurance race together. They ran the Sebring 12 hours in the BMW LMDH class, which is pretty fun. It looks like I did, Santiago. It looks like I did. Whoopsies. That's kind of my thing. So I should probably just run away. I should probably just never look at you ever again. Right now, P1 through 5 is insanely close. That is correct. It's less than 2 tenths separates the top 5. Sketchy Bull, Xylo, Giants Fan, Santiago, and Minico locking out the top 5 right now. Now, I do personally see, improvement from many of these guys at the top. So I'm not too surprised that, or I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw some serious improvement from some of these guys at the top. Down the grid order, we're going to take a look at Stig. This is coming around his out lap here for his second lap. I wonder how he will do. Let's find a little bit here. Charles, yeah, Pogs, I know. It's unreal, right? It's unreal. The level of skill that we have here in Tier 1 has just gone up exponentially over the past couple seasons. And And it's really cool to see how well Minico and, Santiago are doing. They're really showing us the new standard here in Tier 1. As we've got just about 3 minutes to go here in qualifying. A lot of these drivers are going to have to start coming out of the pits pretty soon. I'm sure we're about to see a busy track. The next about 30 to 45 seconds, get ready to see a pretty busy track. We already have looks like a Red Bull coming out of the garage right now. Could be Gary. Yeah, it is Gary. Stig is on a lap right here. Currently sitting in third to last place, and it's a slow one. He's decided to bail out of this one as well. Save some fuel and just get one more good one. Sketchable, you may say that, but, obviously, you never know. And Stig pulling the high rev trick. Charge up that energy. Go, Batty. Calm! Has retired from the session. He says, I'm done. So Calm is done with qualifying. All right. Let's see how Giants fan can handle here as well. I want to see Giants fan set a potential pole challenger. Now, we do know that Giants fan is capable of greatness here. Remember, in Singapore, he was our hot lap feature, and he got 7th place in the world on Xbox with the lap that he submitted for our hot lap feature for Singapore. So we know Giants fan to always be a serious contender for that top step of the podium. Now, will that still come through today at Hungary, or is this not going to be his day? We'll find out. Giants fan getting a good run up for the final corner. Here he goes. He's on a hot one. Good luck to Giants fan as he goes and tries to make a campaign to steal that pole position off of Minico right now and get that front row spot. Hard braking to turn 1 early on the energy, and the DRS flicks open. He's flying. Goes deep dive into turn 2. Hard hairpin. A slight kink right here in turn 3. Flat out kink into a could-be DRS section. And then a slight right-hander before the full left-hander, turn 4. Big kink flat out as well, effectively. And turn 5, right hand, hairpin, long, wide hairpin into a slight kink right. And then you're into this turn 6 and 7 chicane. He goes. He's looking pretty quick right here in the turn 8 left-hander. And then turn 9, keeping in 4th for those 2 corners. Left-hand turn 10 right now. Will he be up on his time after he makes a round to turn 11? We're going to find out. He's about to come across sector marker. He's down in his time, actually. 14 hundredths of a second. Slower than, 1.4 hundredths of a second. Slower. 14 thousandths of a second. Giants fan. Unless he has a lightning fast sector 3, he's not going to have a shot at stealing that pole position. He does have a lightning sector 3. Wow. Makes up quite a bit of time in the sector 3, and he does steal it off Minico, but only just. That will be his provisional finish. That's the best he's got tonight. Minico on 1. Santiago on 1 as well. Xylo, I'm sure, is on 1, and Sketchybull also on 1. Sketchybull up 2 tenths already, putting him into that 4 range as it comes around. Sorry, he wasn't up 2 tenths. That was a weird glitch right there that showed me. Go ahead and watch this, Santiago. He's already up a 10. And he's just finished sector 2. And this was the sector that he had a big mistake in, sector 3. What will Santiago do here? Can he have a better exit out of this corner? This is where he had a big mistake. He has a much better exit. How does he handle the final corner? Santiago looking to steal that pole position off a Giants fan and maybe off his teammate. Santiago comes across the line at a 15.041. Like I told you, it was going to get to the 15 zeros. Now, what can Minico do about that? Nothing. Xylo can do nothing. Sketchybull, he's up 2 tenths, but that's not enough. He's going to need 6 tenths to steal it from Santiago. That is unreal of a time. I have seen those on the leaderboards, but never in real life. Sketchybull can't challenge, but it gets P2. And it's still a 2 tenths gap for Sketchybull. That's unreal. Santiago takes pole position tonight. Sketchbull will get 2nd place. And Giants fan just outside of the front row in 3rd. Minico, after a great banker lap on that middle part of his qualifying, only does best at 4th. Xylo into 5th. Estenba into 6th. Great qualifying for the Mercedes driver. Braided Axe brought up from Tier 2 last season into Tier 1. Looking right at home in 7th. Coupe Noob reserving for the Ferrari in 8th. And the McLaren boys lock out 9th and 10th, with Sebi leading the 2. Alrighty then. What? A lap from Santiago. Let's see what he's got. But a great qualifying from everybody. Outside those top 10, I do want to give some love to King Kirk, Speedy Goose, T-Ball, Zeech, Bops, our current championship leader, sitting in 15th after that qualifying, 1.2 seconds off the pace. Just want to point that one out there. Semtex, Com, and Stig Gary, the Red Bull pairing, very far down the grid here tonight. And Jack Ledford's AlphaTauri obviously at the very back, not qualifying at all, serving a quali ban. Our top team of the night is obviously Aston Martin here from qualifying. Second best team, Ferrari, taking home second and 8th. Great lapsing from all these drivers, but, you know, that's just an unreal experience right there from Santiago. That's just something special. I've seen some crazy laps. That was special, was it not, guys? That was special. Oh, we're about to get into the race, everybody. And before we get into the race, I need to go grab something really quick. I will be right back. But was that not nuts? That was an insane qualifying. We got a little bit more than 30 seconds left until we get into the race time. So I'll be right back, everybody. You know, although the Red Bulls, as I said, are in 18th and 19th place, the McLarens are up in 9th and 10th. And so I thought I might mix the two. Drink myself an orange Red Bull. Best flavor ever made right here from Red Bull. For those guys that haven't had this flavor, best. My fuel. Keep the energy high and the intensity very high, as you guys deserve, because this is gonna be a freaking wild race, man. That was another level, that kind of qualifying, was it not? Like, that was nuts. Now, if you guys remember, let's go ahead and take a look at our tier 1 standings. We're about to get into this. Currently, Bob's still sitting on the top, but Sketchyville sits in 2nd with Gary in 3rd, Snowman in 4th, Sebi in 5th. So Snowman not being here at all, you know, being replaced by Coop Noob as reserve, is going to potentially help the Ferraris out. Hopefully they do well in that championship spot. But Bops and Braden, you know, Braden especially seems to be the better of the two pairings tonight. But Bops is the one who's leading the championship for Williams in Tier 1. So all to play for. Now, you know, obviously I'm just so impressed by the Aston Martin team. Miniko and you know, XTP Sugi before today's race are at the back of the championship standings here. Getting Santiago in here in Tier 1 is unreal how helpful that is. That's just such a wild thing. Like, it's... I think that Aston Martin, you know, being in 10th place is not going to last. Obviously, it's not going to last after the end of the night tonight, excluding some crazy scenario where, you know, somehow both of them have such a bad race. I highly doubt it. But outside of that, it's a question of how high can they climb. You know, starting back this far, you know, with only 8 races to go, it's still quite a bit of time, 80% of the season, right? But they've got to make up 50 point almost differential right now to the top teams. And that's hard to do. You know, they got to really be putting it down and hope that those top 3-4 teams aren't really performing. So, a lot to play for Aston Martin here tonight. You know, another constructor that I think really has a lot of potential here is going to be the McLaren guys. You know, sitting in 9th and 10th right now with Wylad being replaced with Alan Toast going into the rest of the season. It's going to be interesting how they handle the rest of this season. Alan Toast, as we all know, is one of the most successful drivers here in Moose Racing League. He's one of our top 5, you know, of the best of all the times. However, Alan Toast, I will also admit, you know, he's self-admitting to this. He doesn't really find himself practicing this game too much anymore. So he took the season to reserve for a reason. And he was very kind enough to say, I'll come back for the rest of the season. But he still has a lot of work to do, and I think he knows that. And I don't think he's necessarily putting too much pressure on himself. He's just saying, hey, I'm here to drive my race, you know, have some fun, support the team. And, you know, I think that's pretty impressive. And I expect to see some good results from him. Consistent results, I'm sure. Consistent for sure. And Rich Sebi, you know, I think he's a standout. I think he's come out of I remember his first race coming into Moose Racing League. I believe it was an Austrian race. It was a Tier 1 race. If I recall correctly, Snowman and him had some words at the end of that race. But we said, you know what? We see potential in him. Let's absolutely keep him around. He's actually got a nice personality. Maybe a little bit intense on that first race, but it's funny because the next few races, he raced. He was absolutely incredible, and I just loved to see how much he's just evolved as a driver here in Moose Racing League. It's really fun to see. Those are my two constructors that I think that we really need to watch out for. It's Aston Martin tonight and the McLaren. Ferrari obviously always a good shout. Kubnub reserving in, really, really good reserve. So, also, I wonder if we're ever going to have somebody press the A button to get going. Don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But, yeah. So, we shall see. We definitely shall see if we're ever going to get going. I think somebody can click it. There he goes. We're into it. Looks like all I had to say was just something. Now, remember, everybody, take a look at these full team standings. Obviously, Ferrari has a lot to play for here in Tier 1. They want to see if they can extend their lead in the full Constructors' Championship. But other teams are challenging for it. Haas, Williams, even on points. Red Bull, also just right in it. Alfa Romeo right in there, too. So the McLaren has a lot to prove. So good luck to all these 20 drivers, these contenders for tonight's win here at Hungary. It's race time here in Tier 1. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And they're out. And it's race time, baby. Good luck to everybody. Santiago Robles getting a pretty solid start. Sketchable, nowhere near the same grid. Minico going around the outside of him. And we're going to go 5 wide into turn 1 already with the top 7 drivers. You can see the Red Bulls scrambling in the back right now, though. There's red, green, blue in the back. And there's a big crash. Huge one right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars piled up. It's Semtex, Esteban, Giants fan, King, Kirk, and Stig. Giants fan. The luck has run out for him this season. The bad luck continues. He gets caught up in a turn 1 collision, and he goes all the way down the grid. Now that allows Santiago, Minico, Sketchy Bull, Zylo, Braided Axe to run away to the top 5. But the 2 McLaren boys sitting in 6th and 7th, getting a monstrously good launch. Absolutely exceptional from those two guys. They're both up multiple positions. Toast up 4, Sebi up 2. Sketchable making some mistakes right now. Loses some positions to Braided Axe and Zylo. Sketchable on the hards. That launch has left Bob's up 7 positions already as well. The 2 biggest losers right now from that start was Estenba and Giants fan. I'm wondering if it maybe was a collision between Estenba and Giants fan. I'm not sure. It definitely could have been, though. Bob's right now challenging, trying to get up in front of one of these 2 McLarens. But as of right now, it's looking like the McLaren of Sebi is holding him off just fine. The tire advantage is definitely in Bob's favor. You can see the yellow tint around the edge of his tires. He's on the mediums. The hards are to Sebi. Santiago puts down the fast slap on lap 1. Of course he does. He started the race in P1. He stays at the beginning of the race in P1. And we got a little bit of movement right here. Alan Toast looking for a move on Sketchy Bull. Sketchy Bull closes the door into turn 1. Smart move from him to defend T-Ball. Looking on the inside of OECH. T-Ball already making a move. Turn 2, will it be friendly to T-Ball? Takes the outside line. He's going to have to. Does he have the grip? Looks like he will on tire advantage. It's mediums versus hard. T-Ball going to have the inside line for turn 3. And he's through. Good move from T-Ball. Up into 10th, now into the points. Gets in front of the Mercedes Zeech, who, in my opinion, is another one of those standout drivers. He's actually really, really, really good. Oh, T-Ball. Catching a bit of a slide right there. Almost had a disastrous moment on lap 2. But he caught it. And we're in, and we're off. Down the grid, we got Giants fan so far back. Oh, it's a Mercedes! Mercedes and Stig. Oh, Mercedes and Red Bull. I could see them collide in the background right there. Estenba and Stig getting collided with. Stig lets him through. Do we have wing damage? We can't tell, unfortunately. The camera does not give us the good angle. No wing damage from Stig. No wing damage from Estenba. Looks like nobody has had to go into the pit so far except for Calm, who's down 25 seconds. But at the top, it's still all Aston Martin. Santiago puts down a 19.7. Zylo beats that, though, to 19.5. On to the mediums. Let's go ahead and take a look at our tires for all these drivers tonight. Hards and mediums all the way up and down the grid, except for Stig taking the aggressive strategy, but ends up paying for it, not getting the result he's looking for. He's sitting in 19th on those softs. Everybody else in mediums and hards. Minico, Santiago, though, playing identical strategies, even though they're in the same pit box. So that can sometimes cause a problem, as there's a potentiality of a double squeeze or a double stack, especially with them right next to each other in the current standings. As the race is going on now, Sebi still on defense from Bops. Toast still on offense against Sketchy Bull. It's tight here in the top 10. Aston Martin, obviously our top team right now. Ferrari, second best team. Currently McLaren, actually, the second best team. Ferrari, third best team. And it's going to go to, I would say, the Williams for fourth best team. Williams actually putting it down pretty well. They're doing a great job tonight. Braided Axe and Bops. Bops, obviously, their team principal. And Braided Axe, like I said, a tier 2 pull-up from last season, has been doing a great job. We have a spun-out car, Minico! Oh, no! Minico, that whole front wing is gone, girl. He's waiting for as long as he needs to just get across the track and dive into the pits. He has to get to the left side. Let these two cars go. He has to get to the outside, or to go to the right side. And Minico, the curse continues. Spinning it out, I think maybe on his own volition. I'm not sure. But he has spun. Coming out of turn 13. He's going to have to put a new wing on. He needs that, what's it called, safety car. But, you know, we don't know how that's going to go. Right now, though, Santiago in the Aston Martin still holding down the lead. Xylo sits in second on the tire advantage with those mediums, as right now those tires are definitely still going to be in that advantage window. For the first 12 laps, I would say the mediums probably have the advantage. Post 12 to 17 laps, those hards are going to have the advantage. So, Xylo can't dilly-dally too long. If he really wants to, you know, make something out of this, he's got to get in front of Santiago within the next about, I would say, 2-3 laps and hold that advantage for the 5 laps he'll have left out of those tires to really be in a good window. Other than that, you know, I think Xylo is actually going to not reap the benefits of these mediums quite the same way that he could. So it's all Santiago. Can he hold off the attacking Alfa Romeo, excuse me. Xylo puts down a 19.445. He is setting the pace right now at the race. I'm sure Santiago realizes that, but he doesn't seem too bothered by it. Yeah, there's a bit of a mistake right there from Xylo getting on the power a little early. Take a look at the energy usage. Esteban now setting the pace at a 19.422, just barely faster. Santiago sitting at 80% energy, may I also add, everybody. 80%. Xylo's had to burn 80% just to get in there. So, Snowman, to add insult to injury, it's not that he's just holding off the mediums. Say he's holding up the mediums and using no energy. That's unreal. Xylo is having to fight for it as hard as he can. Braided Axe sits in third, and he's ran the race very well, I would say, so far. Sketchy Bull obviously sits in fourth. Really good job. And then Toast and Sebi still locking out 5th and 6th, but Sebi's falling back on the pace from Toast. Then again, Sebi is on those hards. Toast and the mediums. Sebi is definitely wishing he could hold up with Toast right now because Bops, Coob Noob, T-Ball, those 3 medium runners right behind him are all going to have DRS on him in the next couple laps. And Sebi's got no DRS to defend with, so he's vulnerable. Bops also has 80% energy. So does Coob Noob. T-Ball's got 50. So if the McLaren holds off Bops going into turn 1, I think it'd be a miracle. Let's see what he can do. Bops looking like he's going to have it done and dusted before the corner even goes. But Sebi laid on the brakes. It's a turn 1. Side-by-side shootout. DRS advantage going to go to Bops. He will have the inside line for turn 2. Going to be his corner. And the McLaren has to relent. Takes the outside line, though, just sticking his nose up in there, reminding Bops, hey, you know, you're not out of the woods quite yet. I'm still here. But it looks like Bops just decided to dip out and say bye-bye. So Bops now sits in 6th on those medium tires. Sebi in 5th, or Sebi in 7th, excuse me. And the Ferrari catching up. However, we do have a spun out of Alfa Romeo. T-Ball was doing so well. Comes out of that fast left-hander in turn 4. And he spins it in the wall, breaks his front wing. Maybe even damages his rear. Hopefully he didn't. Minico, though, setting the pace on those fresh new mediums. He's a little bit upset at me for commentating cursing him, which, you know, I understand that. Yeah, those are guys who are mentioning about the dirty air. It is a very real factor on this track, especially. It really hinders you. Toast is, you know, he's a really good case study of it right now. Look at this. He's 3/10 out from Sketchy Bull. He might be able to make a move here into turn 1. But he's deciding not to. So I'll play the tire advantage for a little while. The reason why I say he's deciding not to is because he has energy to burn. 70% energy to burn. And he's just not burning it to get that position quite yet. He's saying, I'm down to hang back for a little bit. Sebi, oh my gosh, what happened to Sebi? Sebi must have had a big spin or something. He's now all the way down to 17th. A howler lap 6 he had. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but was sitting in 7th. Now far down. T-Ball grabbing a new wing. Unfortunate for him. Back in this battle with Alan Toast and Sketchy Ball. Also up at the top, Xylo versus Santiago. Wow. Xylo's medium advantage is entirely run out at this point. Look at the energy difference, guys. 14% for Xylo versus 75% for Santiago. It's unreal. There's nothing that Xylo seems to be able to do. And Braided Axe is holding up with Xylo. This is massively impressive. Remember last season, Braided Axe was a tier 2 driver? Look at him holding his own with the podium runners in tier 1 this season. The improvement from last season to this season is massive. Now, he was definitely, I would say, a little bit big for his boots when it came to his position in tier 2 last season. But nevertheless, he's still putting it down this season. I'm madly impressed. Bopso getting passed up by Kubnoob in turn 1. Kubnoob, the reserve driver for Ferrari. It's looking pretty solid. Cameron catching ass. Where's Marcus? So Marcus, unfortunately, had to pull out of the race last minute. His pedals actually were having some pretty massive malfunctions. And so our new full-time driver, Mr. Alan Toast, decided to jump in, be an absolute mensch for the McLaren team, and take that spot. Right now, he's sitting up in 5th place, doing a great job. I'm sure, though, that we will get a chance to see Marcus Libs at some point this season, so be on the lookout for him in some reserve capacity. Calm has decided to retire in the pits. That's our first retirement of the season. He said, I'm out. T-Ball passes the Calm in the pits. Nico not quite in the very back. Sits in second to last, though. Him and Sebi and T-Ball way out of the race right now. They're pretty far off the pace, obviously. Speedy Goose at the head of the battle for the final points position. He's chasing down Zeech the best that he can. Right now, Zeech, though, has been able to hold him off quite masterfully. Seems as though Speedy Goose has just not really had an answer to get in front of Zeech right here. I mentioned here in the, in what's it called, in the race notes, that it's a notoriously difficult track to overtake on. So something to pay attention to. You know, the likelihood of seeing overtakes is low. Alan Toast almost got one done in Sketchball into turn 1. Now he's looking for one into turn 2. Decides to relegate, stay behind. Bumps it out on the right side of the track. Bumps, self-inflicted death he had right there on the right side of the track. Essenbach gets a really good look at him. So does Semtex. And that is... what the heck is going on with those pit people? That is cause for a safety car here in tier 1. And it's the first one of the night. And that is going to let people like Sebi, Miniko, and T-Ball get right back up in this thing. T-Ball just passing the pits right here. Says, I want to stay on the hards. Take it all the way to the end. Miniko also stay on those mediums. Stig, crash mediums. He had just gone into pit. Off those softs. So now, Stig looking, I bet you he's wishing he would have been on the hards right now. He can take those to the end. Oh, Jack saying that he actually collided with Bops. Interesting. Nice, Andy. I know that lyric very well. Well, up at the very top, we got everybody going into pitting. Santiago, Xylo both put. Sketchy Bull stays out. Toast gonna go in. Coop gonna go in. Jack Ledford on the aggressive strategy. Decided to stay out. Late minute decision, it looked like. Zeech stays out as well. Giants fan stays out. Speedy Goose out. All the hard runners gonna stay out. Medium runners looking at potential moves in. King Kirk stayed out, though. So far, the only medium runner to stay out. Miniko obviously not included. So, Bops, if you wouldn't mind, let me know exactly what happened. That'd be lovely. Miniko, he's going to make the pit now. Smart. Oh, Bob says he got smacked off by Jack. Uh-oh. Could be a penalty. We shall see. For lack of control of the car. Oh, tough. Ugh, that's tough. Tier 1 is different gravy this season, says Mark. I agree. It's unreal. Minico pops in the hards. Fresh hards, take it to the end. Very smart move from him. Well, I'm sure that'll go to the stewards for sure. Santiago making the pit stop, going to the mediums. 25 laps left to go on those medium tires. I mean, I fully expect Santiago to find a way to charge through this field. You know, I think that he's in an interesting scenario. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, yes, Manos is a good point. There's levels to Jack being P2 after serving a quality event. Insane, dude. Oh, Mark, you're calm. Hello. I wasn't sure. That's funny. We got a pit McLaren. McLaren popping pits right here. Orange car getting yellow tires. Complementary colors on those Google wheels. You know, I'm still a fan of the Google wheels. And we'll put Sebi in the very back, though. Second to last place right here. Vakar? Vakar? My guess, Mark? Is it, if it's Vaker, then that's weird. Should be Vakar. Yeah. I'm pretty cultured. Fun fact, everybody, you're tier 1 commentator here in Moose Racing League. Pretty cultured over here. Pretty cultured over there. I like the Google. Someone in denial about the Google wheels. I'm also like a super biased McLaren fan. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I would actually genuinely take off my poster right now to show you guys exactly how biased I am, except we're about to get racing pretty soon. But I will be able to show you something from behind me right before we get into the safety car restart. How much of a McLaren fan I am. Look at my new Legos. McLaren F1 car right here. Heck yeah. And I have the real, like, big full-size McLaren F1 car, too. So, sounds good. Buckard. Have a wonderful night, man. Alrighty, guys, we're about to go racing here. Sketchy Bolt restarting our grid tonight. He's already had some good restarts. Oh, there's some collisions in the back. What's going on in the safety car? Semtex, King Kirk area. Some stuff's going on there. Both of them catching, Semtex and Gary catching time penalties. Unfortunate right there. The farthest back, the farthest forward McLaren is Mr. Alentos. He's on one lap old hards. Gets a really good launch out of Semtex. And then big crashes. Oh, that's Jack Ledford. Oh, and he just crashed into them. Minico. Minico's retired on the freaking start line after colliding with Jack Ledford, who then locks up tremendously in the first corner. What happened there? Oh my gosh. That is going to be looked at by the stewards tonight. I am sure. Wow. 3 drivers already out here. We're only on lap 12. About a third of the way through. Schedule leading. Santiago on the restart was sitting in 6th. And he's already in 2nd. Excuse me. And he's already in the lead if he sticks this one, which I think he might. Sketchable probably gonna. Sketchable has nothing he can do. Santiago Robles says bye-bye, Miss American Pie. I am up in the lead, and you're gonna wonder why. It's because he is unfreaking real on this game. Puts on a 19.021 on a safety car restart lap to get the fastest lap of the race. What kind of speed have we introduced here to Moose Racing League? How much will this unlock the potential of Moose Racing League and the heights that we will go as a league? We will find out. This is crazy talk. already 1.2 seconds ahead of Sketchable, who, to be fair, is on 12-lap-old hards and getting challenged by Xylo. Alan Toe's picking up 3 seconds right there. But, oh my gosh, Santiago is just putting on a clinic right here. Xylo's still putting down some pretty solid pace, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near the speed of Santiago, who's on those fresh mediums and just absolutely running away with this race right now. A little farther down, Giants fan and Speedy Goose recovering. That Haas garage really having a massive recovery drive tonight. I remember when I started this race, I said Aston Martin, Ferrari, McLaren, those are the garages to really take a look at. I didn't say a thing about the Haas garage you know, as a group to look at. And how wrong was I? 18-3 now from Santiago, unreal in race pace. Giants fan and Speedy Goose sitting in 5th and 6th. Currently our best constructor. Maybe about to make that 4th and 6th. As Giants fan makes a big dive into turn 1 and gets in front of Zeech, no problem. Mercedes of Zeech not going to be able to switch back on him either. He has to stay back and relegate. So Alan Toast in those 4-lap-old hards, as well as Xylo in those 4-lap-old hards. So if you look at the top 10, only 4 of the top 10 drivers have pit so far this race. Let's take a look at our penalties that we've got here. 5 seconds to Gary. Semtex, 3 seconds to Toast. Santiago Robles has spun it! Oh, it's a big one, big one, big one. What happened? Santiago Robles makes a spin, and then Sketchable and Xylo get collected up in it. And there's more action in front of us. Santiago spun again! Oh, Santiago! Looked like he was in a fine spot to get back on track, but somebody just came over and just absolutely clattered him. What is going on here? Wow. Oh no, Santiago was once running away with it. Maybe made a mistake coming out of turn 5 is my guess. And that caused Sketchy Bull and Xylo to get caught up, and then bad rejoin from Santiago right there. Then again, at the same time, he was pretty far to the left of the track. I'm surprised that whichever car hit him ended up being there. I'm actually quite surprised about that. But it did look like it was a bit silly. I think he probably could have waited a little bit longer. Wow. So Santiago going to have to go in the pits. Stig also in the pits. Ledford was going to have a chance to catch up, but no. So somehow Sketchable and Xylo, although having big mistakes, they made it out alive. King Kirk spins. Turn 2 on his own. King Kirk now down to 14th on those old mediums. Those are definitely out of grip entirely. It's gone. Now the thing about this tier, everybody, guys, is that everybody's on the limit. So mistakes definitely do happen. Giants fan, though, sitting in 1st, and Speedy Goose sitting in 3rd. Wow, Zeech in 2nd. What a race from him so far. Gary in 4th. The top 4 all yet to pit, but Alan Toast in 5th. The highest positioned person on already pitted tires. Interesting. Now, Minico is throwing out accusations, saying, I wonder who, this guy, saying I am the one to curse for the curse of Aston Martin, but I don't know about that. I think it's just the way the cards crumble sometimes. I did just say cards crumble, not cookie crumbles. But Alan Toast having a 4th. Having a pretty solid pace race so far. He does have a lot of work to do to catch back up Speedy Goose, though. And, ooh. Is that Gary looking for a switch back on him? Can't find it in turn 2. Goes really wide out of turn 3, actually. Almost gets all the way up from the curb. Estenbach, loving the look of that. Says, keep making mistakes. I might catch you. The race pace, though, of Alan Toast is always great to see. He's quick in the race. His qualifying may not have always been his biggest strong suit. Oh, his race pace is good. It's funny that I say his qualifying isn't necessarily his strong suit, because he still has some great qualifying runs frequently, so I wouldn't say that entirely. Xylo looking a bit impatient behind the Alpine of Semtex. Definitely frustrating to be behind someone that you know you're faster than. Gonna look for an outside move here. Whoa, this is brave from Xylo going into turn 10. It's side by side and gets in front of the Alpine, but now the Alpine of Semtex says, no, give me that back. I liked my position, sir. Forced him to go super wide. He's back up in it. Stig, I will get you one right now. Nico says I'm too overhyped. I disagree. And I have a crash game, everybody. So not only do you need an invite, I need one too. Hooray. So sorry, everybody. The game has entirely stopped responding. Oh. Like big time stop. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Nope. So sorry, everybody. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's the overtake of the week right there. Absolutely. The one where I've been overtaken by the game. Whoopsies. So sorry, everybody here in chat. You guys are wonderful. Thanks for your patience. We'll be back very momentarily. If somebody in Tier 1 would be kind enough to get me the invite, that'd be lovely. Switching games, Minecraft time? Exactly. Jonathan, how'd you know? You saw the launcher in the bottom? You saw that little cube? Okay, let's see if we can get an invite. As I might be able to get lucky enough and join up off of Santiago. Nope. See if Jack Ledford will join me. Well, oh, Alan Toast is inviting me. What a beast. Alan Toast is ready to go. What a guy. You guys are awesome. But yeah, better check. That's funny. Alrighty, guys, we're getting back in this. Thanks so much for your patience. Excited to get spectating again. Will we see some mix-up? Let's get back in here. That's a question. Looks about the same. Yep, this looks about the same so far. That's what I was missing. I was like, I'm missing a track map. Yeah, so far, nothing different. Stig, I will try to get you. Let's hope this doesn't crash the game again. It doesn't. Okay. Imagine it did. That'd be so funny. Boom. There you go, Stig. Giants fans still sitting in the lead. Zeech in second. Speedy in third. Toast in fourth. Esteban in fifth. Gary sixth. T-Ball seventh. Sebi eighth. Big recovery from Sebi. Xylo ninth. And Sketchable sits in 10th. Taking a look at our position changes. Our biggest gainers so far of the day. Gary and Zeech, biggest loser. Unfortunately, Santiago now down 14 positions. Now, if we do have another safety car, I do see a very real possibility of a comeback from Santiago. However, without a safety car, I don't see it possible. You know, so that's really all he's got to hope for. Said, hey, you know, I may as well keep running it up and keep you know, doing my best. But without that safety car, I just don't see it happening. You know, regardless of how fast you are, nothing can catch up 40 seconds in a race like that. In less than half of the race. Oh, T-Ball almost giving it to us. T-Ball almost giving us the safety car as he makes a huge snapper coming out of 4. And he's parked on track. The VSC is out. He had to park there because he couldn't reverse back onto the track. He would have been straight in the racing line. And my commentary curse has been stronger than it's ever been tonight. Oh my gosh. No DNF there from T-Ball. I don't know how. His car lives. But only just. The wing is all gone, though. Wing is all gone. That was fast. That was a fast crash. I do not know how he made it through that. But somehow he lived. So, congrats to him. That was impressive. Give me 1 second, everybody. Okay. Alrighty, well, we're now in Jonathan, I will try my best, but I can't guarantee you. Because if they're doing well, I got to give them some airtime. Speaking of someone doing well right now, it's Alan Toast and Estenba in the hard-running McLaren and Mercedes. They're actually catching up to King Kirk. About to almost get lapped here in Tier 1. DRS is enabled. Safety car, virtual safety car is in. Penalty-wise, Alan Toast, T-Ball, Stig, all rocking 3. Other than that, that's it. Take a look at Xylo, actually. Right up in the back of Rich Sebi. Rich Sebi on those old-ish mediums. reaching close to the end of their viability. They're tough to run much farther than like 13 laps. Like, they will run more than 13 laps, don't get me wrong. But you can really feel them fall off around that 13 laps right there. Really feel them fall off. So it's a little bit, it's definitely something for them to worry about. A little bit farther down, it's got Kubnu facing up against Giants Fan, but it's not really much of a battle because Giants Fan is on brand new mediums, and he is going to turn into a literal rocket ship and fly away right now. So it's all a matter of, will Braided Axe catch up to the Ferrari, or will the Ferrari be able to stay ahead? We got a yellow flag at the front. It's looking like it could be Stig getting lapped. Almost certainly right here. Tyrell Stig, so unfortunate, has to get out of the way. Gets blue flagged and gets lapped. Tough for Stig. We got two cars lapped, or one car lapped. Now it's Stig and King Kirk potentiality of getting lapped. Santiago Robles, like I said, wasn't really within much of a shot of catching up. He's found a way to catch up a lot of time, that's for sure. With that safety, if a safety car comes out, he's in there. Otherwise, not happening. Esteban is definitely looking pretty strong right now. 5/10 off of Alan Toast. Alan Toast rocking a penalty, keep in mind as well. So Esteban right now has the on-track lead based on penalties. The net lead is that's what they call it, right? A little bit of a squirrely moment right there coming out of 10. He had to struggle with the car right there, but sorry guys. But he does a good job to hold it in. So down lower, it's Silo and Sebi. This battle is still so tight right here between these two. Silo has had a howler of a season so far. No good results yet to date. As we can remember, guys, take a look at these race results. Xylo, as we see, all the way down, so far underneath Minico with a 13th place and a DNF. So Xylo having to really do it well. But right now, he's going to be alongside Alan Toast into the, alongside Rich Sebi into turn 1. Gonna look for the switchback. Does not get the grip out of turn 2. And it's going to be Sebi likely holding off. He will hold it off for at least into the lap. A little bit farther down the grid, we got Braided Axe and Zeech. This is the one that I wanted to find. Oh, it's tight. Axe getting a little bit squirrely out of turn 2, though. See, his braking just seemed a little bit awkward. I think he maybe just caught the rear out a little bit and just not the way he wanted to. So he's back into the pace, though. Braided Axe gets that time penalty. We can see him go wide there. That was pretty obvious it was going to happen. Unfortunately, he was on his final warning. So Braided Axe now sitting in 8th, still, though, on net because he is more than 3 seconds ahead of Speedy Goose, but only just. All right, the grid is Estenbach. First Toast battle. It's tight. It's tasty. This is very close. They are 6 seconds ahead of Rich Sebi and Xylo. So right now, Sebi is doing a great job of holding off Xylo and those below him from Alan Toast. And it's definitely helping him out because if we think about it this way, when it comes to a safety car pit stop strategy or any of that kind of stuff, you know, these guys in the hards like Toast and Estenba and Xylo and Kubnub, they're definitely thinking about going to the end as Estenba looks like he gets past Alan Toast no problem going into turn 1. You know, these hard runners, they're all looking to try to go to the end, which is definitely doable. But if there is a safety car, the only person who's not going to pit is going to be this guy, Giants Fan. You know, in these top few positions. And that's going to make a big difference. Speaking of which, he's in a fight right here. With Xylo looking for the inside line going into turn 2. Going to be able to stick it. Gets a little bit of oversteer. That's going to be Giants Fan through. Sebi all the way down into 5th now. Was sitting in the 3rd. He lost 2 positions right there. Very unfortunate. Esteban, though, Lord Latifi, as many of us know, sitting in P1 right now. Be far ahead. Rich Sebi's on those tires are rough right now, man. Sebi wants a safety car. Bad. I know he does. Just as much as someone like Santiago right now. Because without that safety car, you know, Sebi's obviously going to have to pit. He's going to go down very far. He's the only one on that old of mediums. The next oldest person, the next oldest mediums on track are Jack Ledford. And that's it. He's only 10 laps old, so that's really not that bad. Alan Toth! Oh! Big mistake coming out of the final corner. Catches it. I jumped on his camera right as he was catching a big mistake. Whoa! What a catch from Alan Toast. Avoiding disaster, but losing a lot of time. That is a race suit changer, that's for sure. His suit is usually white. That's usually a standard issue for McLaren, but it is definitely brown now. That was scary for him. Rich Sebi's still within the DRS range. of Zylo, but only just. Zylo pretty far out of the DRS range from Giants fan, who's, like I said, on those fresh mediums that are just going to be lightning quick. But on the grid, let's take a look at some love. Get some love to T-Ball and Semtex. See how they're handling it. I think I am, Jordan. I don't even know how. Like, this is probably the worst commentary curse, that I've ever had. It's bad today. I feel bad at this point almost. It's so bad today. Well, let's hope the curse doesn't strike these guys. T-Ball sitting in 13th, Semtex sitting in 12th. A few positions outside of the points right now. Somebody who's barely in the points. Sketchable into 10th. Far away from anybody ahead of him. So a lot of these drivers definitely wanting a safety car right now. With 11 laps to go, the likelihood of us getting one, it's not very high. Eston Boss starts lap 25. Toast just starting it as well. Giants fan just starting one. We're here on lap 25. Round 3 of Boost Racing League. And so far, it's been a bit of an eventful race. I mean, McLaren's definitely looking pretty solid. Sebi, no way he can take those mediums 10 more laps, though. So Sebi looking to maybe go and get some softs. Maybe is what he's looking at. I'm not sure. Zylo, Toast, and Estenba, and Kubnub, and Braided Axe all in the top 10. And they're all going to try to stick it to the end. Now, Braided Axe rocking a 5-second time penalty. If I recall. No, he's rocking a 3, excuse me. Those that had 5-second penalties earlier did serve them already in the pits. Braided Axe has had a pretty solid race so far. I've been pretty impressed with his race pace of the day. I think he's had a lot to be impressed with as well, with himself. He's doing a good job. But he's under pressure from Speedy Goose. We know Speedy Goose to be a speedy guy. He definitely can make the moves when the opportunity calls. So will opportunity call for him? Or is that going to be just a little bit out of his reach for the next 10 laps here around Hungary? Simba about to start lap 26. We can see him in that track map screen in the bottom right corner. See what he can do. Ooh, good run out of the corner from Speedy Goose. Speedy Goose going to dump all that energy. Braided Axe just going to let it happen. Says, nah, not even worth the fight. Braided Axe lets him go through. Sketchable, you can see him posturing up behind it. Says, ooh, I want you guys to keep fighting. Let me get closer, but Braided Axe not going to have the pace anywhere near it to catch back and get a switch back, so won't get it. A lot less self-inflicted wounds at this tail end of the race, as we have a spun-out car. It's a Red Bull. It's Stig. Stig spinning in the turn 6-7 chicane. Trying to get out of the way of everybody. He's in such a tough spot, though. He's like, I'm just going to stop. That's tough, man. He was in a hard spot. The yellow flag is still there, but should be cleared sooner than later. Yep, it's cleared. And Stig having a howler of a race, man. Unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate. Gary holding me off Semtex. Being challenged up by T-Ball a little farther away, though. And at the top, it's still Alan Toast and Estenba holding it down at the very top. If Alan Toast hadn't had that big mistake, I think he might still be fighting Estenba for the win. It looks like their race pace lap after lap seems to be pretty even, so who knows? Kubnub. With the challenge to the McLaren. This Ferrari has a massive tire advantage over Sebi. Sebi's just hoping. He is very evidently on the waiting list for a safety car. Look at everybody's here. Obviously has made a stop at least once, so those that are on the hard tires will not have to stop again, potentially. But Sebi is just wanting a safety car so bad. That's his only saving grace in these next 8 laps. Can he take these 25 laps? Theoretically, yes. Likely, no. I mean, I think that's kind of what he's going to have to try to do at this point. But it's going to be a tough task. Now, Giants fan has been catching up to Alan Toast ever so slightly every single lap. And it's gotten him now with an 0.8 of a second. He's going to have a DRS favor. He's going to have a DRS soon. And that's going to give him some advantage to start catching up to Alan Toast even more. So, the Haas of Giants fan, after getting absolutely clattered in turn 1, is now sitting up in a podium position with a solid shot at stealing second. Now his pace, is it good enough to get up to first? He's got 3 seconds to make up to get up into first place position right now. Giants fan has a lot of work to do. I don't see it necessarily happening. But tire advantage-wise, Giants fan is definitely in the best spot on the grid. Second best, I would argue, is probably then Esteban and Alan Toast. They're in good positions, but Sebi is under fire right now from the Ferrari. And Zeech, though, putting the pressure on the two of them. Who knows? Yeah, Fox, I mean, you got to always leave that possibility open because there's always a shot for something crazy to happen here in Tier 1. As we know very well, it just always seems to bring the insanity, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Insanity has been up and down the grid so far this race. We've had some big crashes, having Santiago, have a big crash. He just pops up on the top of my screen for getting a penalty. He had a big crash with then collected Sketchy Bull, and I want to say T-Ball, and Xylo. Jack Ledford had a crash right here in the final corner, which collected Minico. Turn 1, lap 1. We had potentially Giants fan and somebody else. I'm not sure who it was. It's just been wild. And we got Coob Noob really looking to make a move right there on the McLaren, but it's not there quite yet. Sebi holds him off. Sebi, using all the energy he's got, takes the inside line. It's going to be side-by-side into turn 2. Sebi to clench that lead. Just barely holds it off. It's so tight going through turn 3, excuse me. Now they're going to be straight into turn 4. Sebi goes mega defensive, and Kubnub can't find a way through, has to relegate and stay back, and Zeech is just watching them fight it out. He's saying, yeah, you two put your boxing gloves on. I'll be a spectator. Wait for you guys to have mistakes, and I'll come sneak through. I don't hate that plan from Zeech because it's not like, even if he does get in front of Sebi, does he really have a shot to make 4.5 seconds up on Xylo? Probably not. So Zeech playing it smart and saying, my best case scenario right now is probably 5th. May as well play for that 5th position instead of trying to play for a win. Just play it smart. Giants fan has now officially gotten in front of Alan Toast up the top as well, but Alan Toast is in a pretty comfy spot, a little more than 3 seconds away from Xylo. We'll have the DRS here, but only just, so he's using all the energy he's got now. Xylo, 3.8 seconds out from Alan Toast. Has a little bit of work to do. Zeech, though, might have a move coming. Coob Noob trying to get in front of Sebi now. Sebi, though, had a way better run that time around. Coob Noob doesn't have the deep dive, and Zeech looking for the outside move. Can he get the better grip? Zeech definitely has the better grip. That's going to be Coob Noob in serious trouble. Zeech dives the inside into 2. They're almost collecting argy-bargy, but Zeech, I think, may have shoved his way through. Coob Noob gets pushed off the track, and he's back in his 7th. Zeech shoves his way through, says, it's mine now. I've waited long enough. Coob Noob right behind him, going to be upset about the way that one went, I'm sure. He's going to want to put that pressure back on him, but Coob Noob on those old hard tires, he's going to be in trouble to start making moves. Sebi has decided, he's committed. I'm staying out for the rest of this race. I'm not going to go in and get fresh tires. And because of that, he is under serious pressure from Zeech, who's on half the wear of tire grip. He's on half the wear of tire, than Rich Sebi. 10 lap old mediums versus 19 lap old mediums. Gonna be a big difference. Coob Noob trying to get in front. Makes a bit of a mistake coming out of turn 13 right there into the final corner, turn 14. Jonathan F. says a little argy-bargy there from Zeech. I would say so too. But you know what? All is fair in love and racing. And Zeech trying to make that true again, going into lap 31. Late on the brakes. Huge late. Coob Noob might have a shot to get back and get his revenge, but not quite close enough. But that was a big mistake there from Zeech, though. You can see he's really overdoing it, putting all the pressure in the world to just try to get in front of that McLaren that he knows is weak. He knows he has the advantage on him. Sebi's got to be worried about a puncture and that kind of stuff. I'm sure he's rocking close to that 70% wear right now. For sure. Maybe even a little bit more. So Zeech knows that. He probably knows Sebi's trying to take it a little bit easy on these tires. He says, just let me get my moment to get through. Just let me get my moment. Giants fan is making up a lot of time on SM at the top. Hold on a second. Giants fan is maybe a single lap away from DRS against Esteban. Is Giant fan about to complete one of the most insane comebacks we've seen here in Moose Racing League? because Giants fan, if I recall correctly, guys, got crashed into on turn 1, lap 1. And now he's only 1.3 seconds away from a victory at the end of this race. That's unreal. Zeech, Sebi, and Kubnoob, the battle that we've been focusing on for a while. It's for that 5th place position. It's so tight. Zeech going to have a really good run right here. He's going to be forced to take that outside line as the McLaren defends so hard on the inside. Really wide from Zeech. Does not get the cut back that he wanted as Sebi defended that corner brilliantly. Sebi will stay ahead once more. Zeech is actually wearing out his tires more than Sebi is, I would argue, because Zeech is on the attack. So Sebi is just getting to kind of run his line a little bit more, the way that he wants. And Zeech is having to put the pressure on. Kubnoob is watching the pressure go down and is saying, hey, Zeech, keep making mistakes. I might catch you if you keep doing it. They're all in almost no energy as well, so they're really giving it everything they've got. Zeech makes a bit of a mistake in the chicanes. Turns 6 and 7. The Ferrari Kubnoob wanting to get out, get up in there. Speedy Goose has caught up to this battle now because of how much they've been fighting here. Now it's a 4-way battle for 5th, everybody. This is our tight group here, and it's about to be a 5-way battle with Sketchable. DRS is now active for Giants fan. You are correct. Oh my gosh. Wow, Giants fan has a genuine chance at a win here tonight now. T-Ball catches 3. A little bit farther back. I still want to keep watching this Sebi to Zeech to Kubnoob to Speedy Goose fight. Jack Ledford spins in the back of the grid. There will not be a safety car no matter what happens now, everybody. This is going to be racing until the end. And Speedy Goose looking for a move on Kubnoob. Cannot find it. Taking the outside line there. And it's going to be this Mercedes of Zeech putting the pressure on Sebi. Sebi defending brilliantly still. Does not have the run, though, coming out of 2 quite as well. But it's a good move out of 3. Into turn 4. Sebi is on screaming old tires. They are going to be on their last legs. And Kubnoob, Speedy Goose, and Zeech all know that. They say, hey, P5 is definitely right for the picking. Sketchable's now up in this all the way. It's a 5-way battle for 5th. 9th through 5th, all within half a second of each other. This is crazy. Jack Ledford has sped into the pit lanes. Gonna try to get some softs and grab that fastest lap, I guarantee you. Kubnoob catches 3! Kubnoob, no way he can get 5th place now. The best he can get is 9th. As I don't think Braden Axe is gonna make 5 seconds up on him, plus his time penalty. So Kubnoob now out of contention for this top 5 spot. It's all Zeech, Sebi, Speedy. And that's it, because Sketchable has a penalty too. It's a 3-way battle now for 5th. And it's Zeech going to have the run like nobody's business. It's going to be a late die from Sebi. I guarantee you. Oh, they go argy-bargy. Sebi wants to get that late break. Zeech gets a huge switchback. Big switchback. Sebi needs to make sure not to collide. He's got to say, hey, I might be better off giving up the position. It's so tight. Inches between the two of them. But that is Zeech finally through. And Sebi is going to feel gutted about that. But you know what? Better to live and get the points than not live at all. I think it's better for him to relax and cool down. Up at the top where they're not going to be relaxing whatsoever. It's Giants fan. Less than a half a second away from Estenba now. Oh boy. Final lap here. And it's going to get nasty, I guarantee you. This is going to be very, very close. Estenba has to defend. Giants fan has to pressure 14-lap-old mediums, 24-lap-old hards. Those tires are both worn down pretty severely. The energy is burning. The crowds are screaming. We're getting close to the end of this one. It's a last-lap shootout for that final position. Late break from Giants fan. Will he get the run? Not the best run out of turn 2, and it's going to be tight, tight, tight as we go head into turn 2. Oh my gosh, Estenba needs to hold this off. Giants fan needs to put the pressure down. Sitting for that 3rd place position. Right now it is Silo, but Alan Toast might be able to make up about 4/10 of pace and steal that 3rd place position off him. Also, there are potential penalties at the end of this race, so we don't know yet. But as of right now on track, it's Estenba in the lead, Giants fan in 2nd, Toast in 3rd, and Silo in 4th. Estenba makes a little bit of a mistake. Giants fan sees him freaking out. He's under pressure. He knows he's worried right now. Giants fan just needs to get some miraculous move going to the next couple corners. Otherwise, it's not going to happen for him. Oh, that might be the moment. That's a mistake from Estenba. It's really squirrely going out of 8. It's a leg break from Giants fan. Has to go off the track. Into 13 we go. And Esteban may have just held it. It's going to be to the final corner. That's a mistake from Giants fan. Esteban almost certainly saw that in his rearview mirror. Esteban will come home with a win tonight. Congratulations to the Mercedes. Second place to Giants fan. Phenomenal recovery. Third to Alan Toast. Fourth to Zylo, but penalties switch that order. Fifth to Zeech after charging his way through. Sketchable will take sixth on track, but Sebi will take it on penalties. Wow. Sebi goes up into sixth. Sketchable to seventh. Coob Noob was on track at eighth. Finishes in ninth on penalties. Speedy Goose takes eighth. And Braided Axe will take the final position on track, but it will likely go to Gary after penalties. In fact, it will. Gary takes the last point. Semtex to 11th. Braided to 12th. Santiago, after such a crazy start to this race, will come home in 13th place, likely to get the fastest lap of the night, though. Oh my gosh. Rich Sebi taking those mediums 25 laps long, dude. What is the fastest lap? It's about to be right now. Watch Santiago Robles go across the line, about to grab fastest lap, I guarantee you. There he does it, a 1:16.903 in the race. Told you it was going to happen. T-Ball wants to challenge that, not going to have it. That's Santiago that we're talking about. Esteban! What a race from him. I got to grab these guys into the interview room. Holy smokes. Wow, that was crazy, dude. That was absolutely wild. Unreal racing right there, dude. Unreal. What a race from those three. Great job. We got Esteban, Giants fan, and Zylo. Unreal racing, guys. That was freaking wild. Oh, Esteban sadly does not have her mic. So Lord Latifi, I just see him in the chat right now, does not have a mic. Lord Latifi, though, what a race from him. Gets his first P1 of the season. Great job. P2 to Giants fan. P3 to Zylo. P4 to Alan Toast. Zeech in 5th. Sebi in 6th. Sketchy in 7th. Speedy Goose in 8th. Coop Noob in 9th. Gary rounds out the top 10. Semtex, Braided, Santiago, T-Ball, Jack Ledford, King Kirk, Stig, Minico, Bops, and Calm all round out the back 10. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. That was crazy talk. Let's go ahead and see if we can drag some people in to our interview box here tonight, guys. Let's say hello to our amazingly strong drivers. Let's go ahead and pull in, I'd say, third place first. Let's grab Zylo. Well, Mr. Zylo, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks.
Doing good?
Yeah.
You did a great race, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane.
It was very difficult.
Yeah, I bet. That was one of the strongest races I've seen in a while. From really anybody in here. That was you really put it down, man. You seemed like you had a lot to do. You had a lot of work to do for basically that entire race. But you did a good job to come back and get a podium. Tell me about that race, how it went for you.
I feel like I was definitely in for the win. During the middle of the race, I was like, I could win this, but then Santiago just immediately flew away. I couldn't catch him, but then he made a mistake. Went to rejoin him at rear right, and after that I was like all the way in 16th. I had no hope, but then throughout the race I kept pushing. At the end, I saw Alantos had a 3 second. For the last 5 laps, it was just like quality laps. I really tried to get it.
You were putting him down those last few laps. You were absolutely flying. I think it's crazy that of the three, three of the 4 podium finishers were insane comebacks. That's wild. That kind of shows you just how that race all went out, and it was all about that on-track pace, and you definitely had it. So nice racing, man. You deserved that podium. That was amazing. Going into next week, this is your first big points of the season. I think it's your first points of the season. Going into next week, what's the target for Miami?
A win and the pole.
I like
and
it.
The fast slot.
I like it. Well, I wish you the best of luck, man. I'm going to go grab Mr. Giants fan, and I can't wait to see you next week.
Yeah, thank
Giants toast. What's up,
Ooh.
Giants fan? How you doing, man?
I would be better if I finished ahead of Esteban.
Dude, that was so close. That last lap was so tense between you two. I saw you both making little mistakes, and I was like, wow, these guys are nervous. Tell me
Yeah,
about
that
the tire
was-
wear that you had at the very end. What percentage were you at?
I was probably 50-60%.
That's actually not
And
too
I
bad.
mean, no, and you could feel the grip was coming out of the tires.
Yeah, you definitely start feeling it right at the end too. I saw a big bits of snaps from Esteban in front of you. I think he was probably around that same amount of tire wear. There was one, what's it called? One big one. I think it was coming around from 8 or 9. That really fast right-hander on the last
Right.
lap, and I thought he was gonna lose it.
You and me both.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you saw that, did you immediately think like, "Oh my gosh, I got a shot"?
I immediately thought, oh my gosh, he's about to spin right in front of me, and I got to figure out a way to not hit him.
That's a good point.
That was, yeah, that was like, holy shit, this isn't gonna go well. Because I was committed, I was full throttle, and just about bend it.
Yeah. But hey, it ended up working out for you. Obviously, you made it alive and still got a P2, which is a great finish. I believe that is your best finish of the season, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
Finally,
last week you got your
last week was
P3.
P3. Yep.
Yep. So, that's only up from here. I think that might put you in the lead of the standings, as well for the championship. So, congratulations now finally being a championship leader once again.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And
Now
going into
it's,
next week, we got Miami. How do you feel about Miami? Are you strong there, or is it a track where you're a little less confident?
A little less confident. It's not one I race very often, and not one I really enjoy racing.
The most important
more-
question is, have you or do you run 0-0 wings at Miami?
I couldn't even tell you. That's how little I've done it.
Good to
So-
know. Well, whatever setup you
next
do
week
have,
will be interesting.
send me the sneaky link and shoot me a line. All right.
Oh, I can do that.
Alrighty, man. Well, hey, I'll let you go. Great racing again, man. Can't wait to see you next week. Hopefully, back on the podium.
Sounds good. Thank you, and congrats on your win earlier.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Very nice.
No problem.
Later, skater.
See ya.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that is it for the night. We're going to go ahead and call it and small it. That was a great one. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys all had a blast. Of course, as you guys know, my name is Punju. You can find me on all socials at Punju, and I cannot wait for next week. Congratulations again to Mr. Lord Latifi, Mr. Estenbaugh. What a great win from him. Great defending, great driving, just overall an amazing, performance. And you had a lot of people gunning for you, but you came home in P1 because you deserved it, and that was incredible. So thank you so much, guys. You guys are all amazing. I cannot wait to see you guys next week for Miami. It's gonna be a super fun track to go racing at. And again, let's have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Go tune into our no assists race that we have going on tonight. Let me go ahead and get that clip, get that link for you guys, so you guys can go and watch. As it looks like they've already gone live right now, so we got to go and show some love in the no assists here. Here is the link, everybody. Go jump in there. Go. This is our best impression of a raid here on YouTube. So go jump in there. Go give them some love. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out here. Cannot wait to see you guys soon. And maybe I'll see you guys in the no assist race. I won't be streaming it on my own channel, but definitely go watch a no assists broadcast. We're going to have some fun in there. Be wonderful. See you guys soon. Bye, y'all.